So, hello, welcome back to Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by CAPS. I'm just going to give it just a moment or two just to see if anybody logs on. And while we wait just for a second, I hope everybody's enjoying their semester as we are preparing ourselves for finals to wrap up this semester and finish strong. I do want to thank all of the students for this opportunity again to be able to come before you and give some little tidbits regarding mental wellness or things just to kind of help you become a better communicator. Let's see if we've got anybody that will join. All right, so hey, we've got somebody that did come into the room. Awesome. So I am Crystal Joyner again. I'm back before you on this great Wellness Wednesday day. The weather is beautiful outside, I might say. And today's topic is actually going to be on apologizing, like how to offer an effective apology. The information that I'm going to share with you today is brought through goodtherapy.org as well as John Cador. This particular individual has done extensive research on mending fences, building bridges, and restoring trust in relationships as it relates to apologizing. So let's kind of just go ahead and just dive in. So what does it really mean to apologize? When we think about what's in an apology, why people do it, it's actually the individual's ability to be able to express regret for something that they did that was wrong. An effective apology, though, can actually show an individual's ability to express great strength and integrity. And ultimately, that apology has the power to actually heal a relationship. So if we know all that about what's an apology and how effective it can be in terms of expressing great strength and integrity, righting a wrong, why is it so difficult for people to apologize? I guess everybody's asking that. Why is it so difficult for people to just say, hey, I apologize, or hey, I've wronged you? Well, a couple of reasons. Well, when you're thinking about apologizing, sometimes it reduces an individual's self-esteem. A lot of times people may feel like they are giving over some of their power, some of their control to another person, and that doesn't feel good for most people. Oftentimes, you may even have a little bit of anxiety about having to apologize. In fact, you know what? We live in a society in which we will sometimes offer an emoji versus offering an emotion. You hear that? An emoji over an emotion. Sometimes people won't even take the effort to acknowledge they're wrong, but they'll send a smiley face, a huggy, hands hugging a person, or a heart without actually expressing the emotion. So let's dive a little bit deeper into that. Another reason why it's a little difficult could be because some people actually have the inability to empathize. Some people actually lack empathy for others. So empathy really enables an individual to be able to put themselves in the place of the other person. We need to actually be able to imagine how our behavior or our attitude has actually affected another person. For some people, though, people have to be reminded on how to offer empathy, while others actually have to be taught that is not something that you're born with as it relates to being able to just offer empathy. So a couple of reasons we talked about in regards to why is it so difficult. For a moment, temporarily, it reduces your self-esteem. In other manners, you may have a lack of being able to empathize and putting yourself in that person's shoes and understanding, hey, what I did and my behavior has actually negatively affected someone. So let's talk about what's actually in an authentic and effective apology. All right. So an authentic and effective apology is like the core of healing. It's the ability to clarify and restore relationships. You can restore relationships from interpersonal relationships or organizational relationships or even cross-cultural relationships if the apology is actually effective and authentic. So John Cador talks about this in his book, and he gives 5 different dimensions in making an effective apology. So let me just go through them, and then we're going to kind of dive deeper into what those dimensions really look like. Recognition, taking responsibility, offering remorse, offering restitution, and even repetition and reiteration. So let's kind of just go over them a little bit slower. When you think about recognition, an apology requires an individual to recognize what he or she has done wrong or that's been harmful. The injured person needs to know that you understand your offense and that you are apologizing for the right thing. So here's an example. I'm sorry I hurt you. Do y'all think that's an effective apology? Does it really show recognition? I'm sorry I hurt you. No, it's not. It's actually not sufficient enough because it does not specifically identify what we're recognizing in regards to how did you hurt me. So another option would be, instead of saying I'm sorry I hurt you, let's try I'm sorry I spoke to you in a disrespectful way. That's so much better because you are recognizing exactly the hurt that I caused. I was disrespectful, that caused some hurt. So remember recognition. The next dimension in an effective apology is responsibility. Take full responsibility for your offense without being defensive. So how many times out there in this IG world have you received an apology for someone, or what we may consider an apology, where the person immediately becomes defensive, or they make excuses, or they offer long explanations as to why they did what they did, or they may even blame someone else for their behavior? So it kind of sounds like this. Oh, you misunderstood me, and that's supposed to be their apology. Or what I meant was, and what's your part in all this? Do you hear the excuse? Do you hear the blaming? Do you hear the defensiveness? None of those are effective ways to actually take responsibility when you are trying to offer an effective apology. So when you consider responsibility, think about statements such as, I take full responsibility for being angry. See, right here, there's actually meaning to your words. And then extend that a little bit further to say, not only do I take responsibility for being angry, I take responsibility for hitting you. You see the difference? Versus, you must have misunderstood me, or, hey, what's your role in it, in all of this? Interesting. Does it sound familiar to anybody out there? Remorse is the third dimension of offering an effective apology. Here you'll use words such as, I'm sorry, or I apologize. Such words should be accompanied with nonverbal clues that demonstrate genuine feelings of remorse. Genuine feelings of remorse such as humility, vulnerability, and respect. Sometimes those nonverbal clues, you'll see that. So that's physical. Does the person seem sincere through their nonverbals? Are they being vulnerable and offering humility as they offer their apology? Restitution is the fourth dimension in offering an effective apology. You need to make amends by doing something to rectify the situation. You need to offer an appropriate action. And here's an example. I was so careless with your computer, and I'll take it to the computer store tomorrow to get it fixed. Asking questions like, what is needed here to repair the relationship? That's what restitution kind of looks like. Your ability to offer amends, offer a way to fix or to rectify the situation. If you do something, just saying I'm sorry, oh, didn't mean to do it. Remember, that's the defense or denial. It sounds a little bit different, and it's received a lot better when you offer an opportunity to fix the situation, to rectify it. And then the fifth one is repetition and reiteration. Here you would have learned what you've learned and how you're going to change and how things will be different in the future. It is your commitment to not repeat the offending action. So for an example, I've learned that I've had poor boundaries. I revealed confidential information about you. I will not do this again. I hope over time you'll be able to trust me again. You see how the individual, they take ownership, they reveal what it is that they've done, offer restitution on how to fix it, as well as reiterating that, hey, this relationship is valuable to me. I hope that over time you'll be able to trust me again, and I acknowledge what I did was wrong and I shouldn't have done that. So here are a couple of things that I kind of want to close out with, some general considerations for you guys to be mindful of when you're offering an apology. What do those general considerations look like? Ifs or buts. Have y'all ever received an apology from someone and the first thing they say, if I hurt you, or but? Just don't use them. Just don't even use them. Just remove it from your vocabulary altogether when it comes to offering an apology. I apologize if I said something offensive, or I'm really sorry, but I only said this because you said that. Those are not good statements. Statements like this only neutralize or worsen the injury by making the apology conditional, or in effect denying responsibility. So we definitely want to consider, when we're offering an effective apology, removing those ifs or buts, or looking for opportunities to justify your actions. Another general consideration to consider would be use an assumption. You may be attempting to express your empathy in a situation, but statements like, I know exactly how you feel, do you really? It doesn't really add to the process. It's much better to enter the dialogue by expressing interest and concern about how the person is truly feeling. For example, one might say something like, I wonder how I'd feel if that happened to me. It's much better than, I know how you feel. Or you could even start a statement off stating, if I were in your shoes, I'd such and such. Okay? Does that make sense? Another general consideration to think about when you're offering an apology would be the form. How do you even start off? Sometimes people don't even know how to begin. But you begin with I statements. This word makes it clear that it's personal, it's genuine, it's your response, and it's coming from you. Try not to ramble. Just be clear. Keep the apology simple, keep it concise, be clear. All of those factors make an apology more powerful, more effective than refraining from doing such. Timing is another consideration. When the offense is small, immediacy is best. A simple, hey, I'm sorry I stepped on your foot, it's well enough. Without this simple apology, the relationship gets full. And imagine like a bag full of these different offenses. And as the relationship grows and continues to keep going on and things continue to keep happening, the bag gets full of remembered incidents that can be interpreted as a lack of awareness or respect on the part of the other party. This situation will then require an even larger apology and more complex process to try to figure out how you're going to increase trust after all those offenses. So if you know that you've done something to offend someone and you know it's pretty small, make it your best. Timing is everything. Get in there and apologize quickly. And then the manner in which you apologize. Apologizing in person is usually the most successful. An email, which can easily be misunderstood, does not convey emotion very well. So I hope this was a pretty quick Wellness Wednesday, but oftentimes I know that apologizing can be difficult for so many people for so many reasons. We talked about decrease in self-esteem if you've got to go back and rectify a situation, or a person's individual's inability to be able to offer empathy, really not knowing what that looks like, how that might have felt if that person is in their shoes, if they were put in that particular situation. But if you can remember John Kinder's 5 dimensions to making an effective apology: recognition, we're taking responsibility, being remorseful in your apology, offering restitution, and then reiterating what it is that you are trying to say, how you will not make this same offense in the future. I think that if you can remember those considerations, you're well on your way to offering effective apologies. Well, but until next time, it's been an honor to come before you on this great Wellness Wednesday day, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.